Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we'll be talking about 6 reasons why saving money is not the answer. Let's get started. Think about this for a minute. You'll have $5,200 if you save $100 each week in your cookie jar for 1 year. That does sound good, but to invest $100 per week, you'll have more money at the end of the year. Even the middle-of-the-road investor can outperform the retiree. A common example is an account that pays interest at 0.02% compounded monthly. If you open this account and allow it to grow, you'll have $5,300 after a year. You should invest your money instead of saving it because of the following advantages. Number 1. Rising prices. Instead of depositing your money in the cookie jar or putting it under the mattress, it still won't protect you from inflation. Inflationary pressures constantly chip away at the purchasing power of your money. You have no effect in the overall inflation rate with your cookie jar money. The bottom line is that your savings lose buying power as time goes on. There's little point in investing, even for the paltry return in the example I mentioned earlier, because it helps you mitigate the effects of inflation. In the absence of compound interest, money that stays in a savings account isn't gaining or growing your net worth. Ludicrously low interest rates are usually found in all major financial institutions, as low as 0.01% annually in some cases. The FDIC claims that the average savings account for a big bank only yields an interest rate of 0.06%. Interest paid on a 1-year $1,000 deposit in a savings account would yield only 0.6% at the end of the year. Finding spare change on the ground will enable you to earn more than that. Even if they're labeled high-yield savings accounts, interest rates on these accounts average less than 0.5%. Yes, but it's not the best. Most people put a tremendous amount of effort to get their paychecks. Instead of holding onto that cash in a place where it will simply sit and accumulate interest, it should have been invested so that it can grow over time. For long-term financial goals, the worst place to keep your money is in a savings account. When your money isn't growing, it's getting smaller. If you have no idea what inflation is, then it's defined as the rising cost of goods and services that don't stop. To put it another way, the value of the dollar is dropping. In reality, prices are not going up. Rather, the purchasing power of the dollar is going down, and as a result, you must spend more money to obtain the same amount of goods. Imagine this scenario. You're purchasing a quart of milk. It would cost you just 83 cents a gallon to live in 1950. As you can see right now, that quart of milk is currently in 2021 at around $3.85 per gallon. There's been an incredible 429% price increase over the years. Today, the number of cows producing milk is fewer than it was in 1950. Milk suppliers recently jacked up prices because of skyrocketing demand. Could it be that this new milk contains a brand new technology that would increase the price by a lot? Hardly. Farming and transportation technologies have improved significantly since the 1950s, making you wonder if producing milk is more expensive today. So what's the plausible explanation? You must use more dollars as the value of each dollar decreases over time. This ultimately leads to goods' prices appearing to rise steadily over time. On average, the annual rate of inflation in the US is approximately 2% to 3%. If you look at this from a negative perspective, you could consider it to be a subtraction because it's taking away dollars from your total value. This phenomenon is difficult to spot in real time, but it does occur. In other words, to put it into perspective, $100 saved today will only be able to purchase $45 of goods when you retire. Now that's something to think about. Number 2. Financial prosperity. Money will not bring you wealth. The only way to acquire wealth is to invest in something like real estate, stocks, or bonds that has the potential for substantial returns. Dividend-paying stocks provide significantly higher returns than 0.02% in the earlier example. Many blue-chip stocks pay dividends that are several multiples of 0.02% of their share price. Alcoa pays dividends to shareholders that are 75 times the amount of their dividends. Investing is the best route to accomplish your financial goals, regardless of the materials you choose to invest in. Investing has an element of risk, just like every other kind of journey. When you're about to embark on your journey, you need to determine how much risk you're willing to take. With great risk comes great reward. Often, a higher rate of return requires a great chance of loss. Never take risks that could end up costing you more than you can afford to lose. Young people have distinct advantages. Your earning potential is at its peak when you're young, so you can take greater risks when you're younger. Cautious investors need to be even more conservative as they get older. They won't be able to recover significant losses as they're unlikely to last long enough to earn it back. Number 3. The quality of life. When you invest money, you can expect to improve your standard of living in one way or another. Material things aren't necessarily important, but if you don't have any, you may feel differently. Having a good quality of life is connected to better health, and better health has a positive impact on longevity. If you don't care about material things, pay attention to your health. Number 4. Providing a long-term future. Everybody wants to give their children a better life than they had themselves. It's in our genetic makeup to do so. An investment in good sound practices is essential to provide your children with better educational, business, and medical opportunities. Deciding on a sound investment is a time-consuming and complicated process. Consider investing in real estate if you're not comfortable with stock. An astounding number of single-family homes have been purchased by hedge funds. Hedge fund managers understand that there's a substantial demand for rentals, and they're dedicated to making a profit. By investing in rental property, you might benefit from this current market trend. You can create passive income by investing a small amount of time and talent and earn the fruits of your labor at a later time. Start a blog or write an ebook. You should consider your blog's revenue-generating potential because of advertisers. To make a large income, people usually read widely read blogs. Your abilities may lie somewhere. If you have programming experience, you should make an iPhone or Android app. A good income stream can be generated from several effective applications. Even if the investment medium is different, you must do your research and analysis and gather as much information as possible. Without comprehensive analysis, there's no magic trick that can make it successful. Never invest in something you don't understand. One important thing is identifying your limitations. But it's critical to also look into areas you may not have thought of before. If you don't know something, find out how you can learn it. And you can use the money you would have otherwise saved. Then research the subject of investing in stock on the internet. The increased knowledge will give you more opportunities to participate in diverse investment schemes. It's necessary to earn wealth. It's all right. You don't have to buy anything right now as you're getting started. But just know this. If you continue to save your money in a savings account or the OG cookie jar, don't expect to become wealthy. It's more likely to yield positive results with investments than with savings. Although there is indeed a degree of risk whenever one invests, is the risk of losing the buying power of money one has saved greater than the risk of incurring a loss of that money's purchasing power? Each individual is responsible for answering this question and acting accordingly. Number 5. You can grow the value of your investments by using the magical powers of compounding. The value of your investments will increase as your assets increase in value. While using financial hedging advice from companies like JCRA, you can invest in a wide range of value-based opportunities around the world while using currency hedging. You'll benefit most from compounding if you allow your investment dollars to grow for 20 years or more. There's the possibility of double or more of what you originally invested. To ensure diversification, you can include assets with varying levels of risk. It's important to own investment property to have a balanced portfolio. Too much property or cash can lead to problems if all or most of it loses value simultaneously, or if it doesn't generate any income. Diversification helps to offset large movements in individual asset classes because from one year to the next, an exceptionally strong performance in one asset class balances out a lackluster performance in another asset class. Proper rebalancing by selling off investments with high current prices and buying new ones at low prices provides a percentage point or more of total return on investment simply by investing in low prices and selling high. Most investors, on the other hand, do the opposite because they base their investment decisions on their emotions. Furthermore, even your savings will not be enough to support you in retirement. Number 6. The tax system works against you. When you think about it, it's just your relatives and close friends who are telling you to save money, as well as the government and the media are also responsible for this. It's always discussed in the media how many people don't have savings or an emergency fund in the United States. That is a flaw, but it creates an awkward situation in which no one is offering a reward for saving. Consider it for a moment. The more you save, the fewer tax breaks you get. I'll help you out with several instances. A home buyer gets a tax break if they purchase a home. You get a tax break when you do repairs like that on your house. However, if you cut expenses or try to save, you will not receive a tax break. Fittingly, the government is delighted to levy taxes on any income or investment growth you may have. Income tax, capital gains tax, and estate taxes are all components of a country's tax code. It can be reduced to means that if you make money or save and earn interest, you'll be taxed on the extra money. It stands to reason, therefore, that while the government claims to want you to save money, they do not practice what they preach. Savings accounts don't contribute to the economy. That's why the government wants it that way. That would be all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video as it motivates us to make more content like this. Thank you for your time and have a nice day!